don't know if I showed you this. My first membership number was 100, um, and those were the bad old days when we were chuffed because we had 5,000 members. Future of Stamford Bridge, we had the many years earlier Save the Bridge Fund, and all us kids put our pocket money towards saving Stamford Bridge. Yeah, message from Ken Bates. Basically, please carry on helping. Anyway, during that time, I've obviously seen a lot of players, some brilliant players, brilliant players. Even in the bad old days, Charlie Cook was to me a genius. So was Hudson. Bonetti was hell of a keeper. Osgood a great forward. I don't think he ever really realised he got a bad injury. I think it was before I started watching Chelsea. I don't think he ever really recovered. Ian Hutchinson. And then in the really bad old days, bless them, we had people like, what was his name? Rhodes Brown. Yeah, I remember being at the bridge where we scored against Liverpool, and I was embarrassed because we had these T-shirts saying "We beat Liverpool" because Liverpool were great at the time, and we were pretty shy. I've seen some pretty poor play. Poor old Alan Mays, he gave 100%, but he was awful. Anyway, I could go on and on, but it's not that. The point is this: the players last night against Manchester United in the FA Cup, where we lost 2-0. Kepa. I've got to say this, he's only a young lad, and I'm sure he will be a fine goalkeeper. But he doesn't seem to have the presence at the moment to marshal that defence. There's obviously not enough talking going on. And for a £70 million keeper, I would have expected him to save the Pogba header. Yeah, the Pogba header is powerful, but it was at a good height for Kepa, and he got a hand on it. Much like the Gundogan shot in the Man City game, got a hand to it. You need a strong wrist, and Kepa can't be at fault for paying 70 million quid for him. And the snake quarter left us in that position. But when you think that Alisson at Liverpool, who's a real presence, cost 10 million less, you have to think, why weren't we in the market for Alisson? Because he seems a leader. One of many in that side when you look at the Milners and that have seen it all and done it all. So Kepa, last night, he made one really cracking save. Can't fault him at all for the first goal. Don't think he marshals the defence, and I think he should have stopped the second goal. So I'm going to give him a 5. He's a young lad. He's still learning his trade. I'm sure he'll be a fine goalkeeper. He's a decent goalkeeper now. But after watching Czech for years, let's hope he grows and grows quickly. Who else? Right. Azpilicueta, Dave. Unlike a lot of fans I heard last night, I thought he gave 100%. He gets beat for speed now. I don't know if that's the result of an injury because he's not that old, is he? or he's just playing out of position. Maybe he should be playing centre half instead of Luiz, and that is the first thing that I would be trying if I was manager. Because David Luiz, yeah, all right, he's pumping up. You know, he, he's about as near to a leader as we got, but he just makes so many mistakes, and he's so out of position all the time. So I'd probably be sticking Azpilicueta there, because Azpilicueta is a good defender. But he's not a wing back. That's why we had Moses there under Conte. Azpilicueta, I'm going to give him 4 because I thought he did try. I just think that we're not playing to his strengths where he's being asked to play, and as a consequence, he's looking pretty poor. Rudiger. I like Rudiger. He can defend. But last night, for the Pogba goal, he did something that we were taught not to do when I played for my first junior team, and that was to jump up straight. If you turn your body to the side, A, you've got a better run up, and B, you've got more control over where you're going to put it. You can see everything around you with that ball coming, and you can get more elevation. Rudiger, and it's not the first time this season he's done it, just jumps up like that. Straight on. Not good defending. But he tries. He always tries. Mr. 100%. So I'm going to give him a 5. David Luiz. The odd long ball that normally landed on Luke Shaw's head. A free kick that I think the goalkeeper made a proper meal of. And lots of running out of position so that people didn't know where he was. I think after time he's trying to fill in for Alonso, but also because we haven't got Kante in front of that back 4, he's getting pulled out of position. I don't know if he was trying or not. He looked pretty lazy last night. But if he was trying, I feel a bit sorry for him. I'll give him 3. Alonso. What can I say about Alonso? The wing back that can't cross. But he's an half decent wing back. He is the most shocking defender I have ever seen, I think, in a Chelsea shirt. Oh, for the days of Doug Rugby. If you went down their right, our left-hand side, and you got the ball past Rugby, Rugby would take the ball, he would take you, and you'd be in the front 2 rows with the fans. Now, I know you can't play like that nowadays, but you can put a tackle in. And some of his tackles are like, they're either fouls or they are, I don't know what to call them. Powder puff tackles. I can only give him 1 for standing on the pitch and breathing for 90 minutes. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Jorginho. What does he do? Apart from play the ball sideways and backwards. Last night he played 1 really good ball forward that Higuain it was unlucky. He brought it down well because it's going over his shoulder. So he brings it down well, but it then falls behind him, and the chance has gone. But it was the sort of ball that I'm expecting from Jorginho. What it looks like he's rationed to one a game forward ball, which is great if he was. I mean, we sold Fabregas. Fabregas couldn't run anymore. Fabregas didn't tackle. Same with Jorginho. Only Fabregas used to have a telling pass. I'm sorry, Jorginho. I'm sure there's a footballer in there somewhere. He went for a tackle last. Well, one of the goals led from one of his tackles, but he went in for one tackle and literally turned his back on the man as he was going in. I had a football manager once when I was a kid. He'd have had us doing press-ups with our face in the mud if we'd turned our back. And this is a man that cost over £50 million. What can he do? How was he not taken off? Drop Kovacic in there and put a forward player, not Barkley, in that position. You know, could have dropped Kante and Kovacic together. Kovacic is no goal scoring threat, but he's a nice, tidy player, and he can at least spot a pass. And he can certainly do all this sideways, backward business, and he can tackle. So Jorginho, I'm giving 1 because I thought he was as bad as Alonso. Kovacic, he tried, I think. You know, he's running around like a headless chicken most of the time. But he tried. I'm going to give him 4. Kante obviously playing out of position. I thought that was one of his worst games, but he was trying. I'm going to give him 4. I think a lot of it is down to the fact that he's being played out of position, which against the lesser teams you can get away with, but not against the sort of pressure that we were under last night. He keeps getting torn between playing his natural position and playing where he's obviously been told to. Right. Hazard, I felt so sorry for Hazard last night. I heard someone criticise Hazard last night, and I thought you were just watching a different game. All the criticisms that I have of Hazard, on many occasions, couldn't level at him last night. Bloke made a couple of runs and ended up winning the ball back near our goal line. He tried sometimes on his own to dribble past players, and what was he meant to do? If you've got no one either side of you, what do you do when you've got his talent? 1 in 10, he's going to get round them and score. And he tried. And I'm going to give Hazard 7 for last night because I thought he did really, really well. Higuain, almost impossible to score because he had little or no service. Felt really, really sorry for him, as I've done every game apart from the Huddersfield match. Not getting the ball. Sarri come out with something like we had 68 passes or 70 passes into the box. Yeah, aimed at one man, surrounded by 5 defenders. It don't matter if he got 2,000 passes going into the box. Chances are he's only going to get his head on 1 or 2 of them. So I'm going to give him 4 because he tried. He tried. Making some good runs, didn't get the ball. Largely because Jorginho was deciding, I'll play that back to Kepa. And Pedro. Pedro, not unlike Willian, is having a pretty awful season. I don't know why. I actually think I know people disagree with me on this, but I think Willian's been a tad better than Pedro this year. But Pedro he makes all the wrong decisions. It's weird because he's a great player. Same with Willian. They seem to be making the wrong decisions. I wonder if, from a coaching point of view, they're told to pass back rather than forward. If the ball perhaps can be moved quicker sideways or backwards, do that. But these two guys used to rip defences apart, and they're only 30 and 31. You know, they should be really sort of still in their primes. Pedro was shocking last night. Bad decisions everywhere, and after time, you know, the odd run back, but after time he wasn't doing his defensive duties. When we haven't got the ball, we look shocking. It looks like no one knows what they're doing. And yeah, that's largely coaching, but also these are international footballers. You'd think they'd say to each other, he don't know what he's on about. You know, when it comes down there, you cover. If I go forward, you cover there. It's not rocket science football. So Pedro, I'm going to give him 3. He was pretty poor, but he gave it all. Substitutions, well, Barkley lost it 2 of the first 3 times. In dangerous positions. Same as he does most games. And 2. He gets 2 because no one was worse than Alonso and Jorginho. And he came on as a sub. So he didn't have time to be as poor as those 2. But I think given time, he might have managed it. But no, I'm going to give him 2 and the benefit of the doubt. Willian, I'm going to give him 3, the same as Pedro, because he didn't look like any different. No difference. Willian run back and defended a few times, which I think is the only reason I can see why he's getting in over Hudson-Odoi. But going forward, he's, again, wrong decisions. And Zappacosta, I feel sorry for, out of all the people on that pitch, I felt sorry for Zappacosta. The reception he got when he came on, you'd be thinking, and it's not his fault. You know, he's a limited footballer. I mean, I would rather have Moses there. But it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He's a professional footballer. He gets picked he gets purchased, you know, from reasonable money, 60, 70 grand a week. I'd take it, wouldn't you? You know, I'm a fat old lump now. If someone said 60, 70 grand a week, come and play for us, I would. Someone said that 60, 70 grand a year, I would. But you can't blame him. And he gives 100% all the time. I'm going to give him a 3 because he always tries, that bloke, even though he's limited. And it's not his fault that he shouldn't have even got near the pitch, 2-0 down. And you swap a right back with a right back. That's criminal. And Sarri, the manager, I'm going to mark him 1, along with Alonso and Jorginho, because that was the most tactically inept performance I have ever seen from a Chelsea manager, which just eclipses the 6-0 defeat by Manchester City that, funnily enough, was under the same manager. In a previous video, I'll tell you how many managers I've seen down there. And he is the worst tactically. So, let me know what you think. Sorry if I've been a bit pessimistic, a bit down. But I thought I did do it last night. I thought I'm going to think about it overnight. And I hope I never see Alonso Jorginho and Barkley and even Luiz in the Chelsea shirt again. But I'm sure I will. And it'll be on Sunday. Happy days.